pretend to pick certain parts because all of it was important. But at the end you said we should remember the faces behind the numbers. And I'm a finance person, trained as a finance person, but it's very good for us to be here, to remember that collectively as finance professionals across the globe. Many of you work directly with our beneficiaries. I do not have that honor every day, but I'm pleased to be here in your nation's capital. Even before, of course, your very successful climate summit, we had decided to come here for our global finance meeting. It was a quite relatively obvious and easy choice for us because, of course, the importance to the UN system of Nairobi, the UN system agencies present here today, here in the city, the Regional Bureau for East Africa, the country program led by Lauren, and the support offices for operations like Sudan and Somalia. But also importantly, as both of you have touched upon, financial technology. It's an important hub. Financial innovation, financial inclusion. So these are all topics that we will cover this week in our agenda, and your powerful intervention has focused us for the rest of the week. Congratulations on the successful climate finance climate summit and the recognition of the work of WFP in general, but also for pointing out the challenges and opportunities that we have and that we must face together as stakeholders in this international system, including the international financial institutions that hopefully we'll interact with as well during the course of this week. Let me thank you with a small symbolic gift that I think will come this way shortly. As you know, WFP was tremendously honored at the height of COVID. Thank you, sir. At the height of COVID to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2020. We're not able to do our work in food security for the people that we serve, the subset of the 345 million people that you mentioned. We reached about 158 million people last year. We can only do that with our partners. And the partnership with the government of Kenya has been tremendous for us, as you mentioned, for 40 years. So we would like to hand over to you a small gift of appreciation. I don't know how paperless your office is, but we have a paperweight in the symbol of the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for joining us today, for opening our forum officially, for recognizing the work that we do as for the Finance Strategy 2027. There's a lot of us for us to achieve, but you've thrown us the opportunities and the challenges, and we'll get cracking and work hard to make sure we continue to support your government, your communities in this country and all the countries across the globe. Thank you so much.
Kenya has been a proactive agent of change, leading from the front in rallying the African voice. But we are not begging. Our fate is tied to commitments that we hope will be honored. Our continent, rich in diversity and spirit, has long held a shared perspective on the climate crisis. The recently concluded Africa Climate Summit, which Her Excellency has just referred to, here in Nairobi, was a testament of this unity. The Nairobi Declaration is not just a symbol of our collective resolve and vision for a sustainable future, but an affirmation that we deserve better for our pains in sheltering humanity. We need the Nairobi Declaration amplified for its echoes to resonate and influence the next course of universal action on climate change. This is why we turn to our trusted partners, like the WFP. You have walked with us, understood the intricacies of our challenges, and have been integral to our journey. It is time to raise our voices together to ensure that the Nairobi Declaration is not just heard, but acted upon. Again, our collective future hinges on our ability to convert commitments into actions. And Kenya stands ready, with partners by our side to lead this charge. Meanwhile, as we acknowledge the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead, I remain deeply inspired by our progress and optimistic about our shared future. Through innovation, collaboration, and strategic alignments, we are not just envisioning, but actively forging a path towards a world free from hunger. As finance professionals in WFP, ensure every dollar, every cent, and resource is channeled effectively and efficiently to make the greatest impact for our shared mission, a world without hunger. Together, let us strive to reduce the effects of hunger and achieve a world where no child goes to bed hungry, where every farmer reaps the fruits of their labor, and where sustainable food systems are not just an ideal, but a lived reality. I urge you to remember the faces behind the numbers. Every statistic you work with represents a life, a dream, a family, a living entity. Let that be your guiding light as you navigate the complex world of humanitarian finance. The people of Kenya are indeed the world, are counting on your expertise, your dedication, and your compassion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to declare the WFP Global Financing Meeting opened and the WFP Finance Strategy for 2027, running through to 2027, officially launched. Asanteni sana, and God bless you all. And where we do find these malnourished people? It is in low and middle income countries. Sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, and South Asia, in that order, have the highest prevalence of severe food insecurity. Yourselves, the WFP, estimate that from 79 of the countries where you work, more than 345 million people have faced high levels of food insecurity this year. That is more than double the number in 2020. This constitutes a staggering rise of 200 million people compared to pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels. Let's break it down further and humanize the data. Children with unemployed parents, disabled adults, and single mother households have higher rates of food insecurity. Obviously, stabilizing interventions like food relief are important. But the data is actually telling governments to create more employment opportunities for the people. However, conflict, international climate shocks, and climate change are raining havoc on the ability of Africa to mitigate food insecurity through economic growth and therefore job creation. This means the WFP government and government partnerships should now focus on building resilient communities as a long-term solution to perennial food insecurity. Here in the Horn of Africa, there is no year or season in which the whole region receives normal rainfall and is free from climatic anomalies, such as flood or drought. We are just emerging from the worst drought in 40 years. We are expecting El Nino after a dry spell. Our crops are hardly off the farm. As it pours, we don't have enough cereal dryers to go around and save on post-harvest losses. Meanwhile, we must prepare for floods. Infrastructure will be destroyed, as we have seen sadly in Libya. We all know that conflict, economic shocks, climate extremes, and soaring fertilizer and fuel prices are combining to create a food crisis of unprecedented proportions. Stand tall and give the world some respite from unproductive contests, be they war or climate change truancy. FAO statistics show that about 29.6 or 2.4 billion people from the estimated 8.1 billion world population are moderately or severely food insecure in 2022. Actually, that 1 billion people live in extreme poverty of under $1.25 a day. Further, of these 2.4 billion, about 11.3% or 900 million people in the world were severely food insecure. Now, worldwide, food insecurity disproportionately affects women and people living in rural areas. Contrast this with hunger facts all over or here. 16.6% of the world's population is undernourished. Hunger is the cause of 45% of all children's deaths, and more than 99 million children under the age of 5 are still undernourished and underweight. Let me say that it is indeed an honor to address this gathering of 130 eminent finance leaders from 89 World Food Programme country offices around the world. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the WFP for the gracious invitation to open this forum. I also have my singular privilege to welcome you to Kenya for this global finance meeting. You have done us proud as a country in choosing to congregate in Nairobi. Feel free to enjoy the joy of Magic Kenya, Sava being in the only city in the world with a wildlife park that is not far from here. And I've just been told that this is a gathering that is taking place after about 8 years because of so many other things. So really, it's a big milestone. So karibu sana. You are gathered here from 89 different nationalities. Your presence reinforces our position as a hub for international dialogue and cooperation. This meeting is a proof of the strong continuing partnership between the WFP and the Kenyan government. Allow me to say, therefore, that we are proud as a people, a government, and a city to be part of a leadership that is addressing global challenges. I share with you the sensation on the importance of this global finance meeting in the context of our current global challenges. Your invite has put me to test to share some of the following. First, reflections on how strategic alliance between the WFP and host governments can support achieving global food security objectives. Secondly, insights on WFP and Government of Kenya relationship in advancing food security. Thirdly, thoughts on how WFP can utilize its finance to serve a deserving world better. Kenya and the WFP have shared a productive partnership for over 40 years. Together, we have addressed challenges ranging from floods and droughts to the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Recently, the WFP provided resources in support of 1.2 million Kenyans during Kenya's most severe drought in the past 40 years. It was really bad, but we thank you for your support. Our cooperation has seen successes in various other areas. We worked together on the school meals program until Kenya graduated out of it in 2018. Another significant initiative has been the cash-based transfer programs that offers vulnerable households and relief to cater to specific food and nutritional needs. Currently, the partnership is looking at increasing resilience against climate change, reimagining school meals to climate-related strategies, and exploring innovative financing methods to access needed investments for Kenya. On behalf of the Government of Kenya, I wish to express our gratitude for this consistent partnership with WFP and assure the country office and the whole WFP of our full support. Indeed, we are grateful that Kenya is now a member of the WFP Executive Board. This is not just a privilege, but a responsibility we take seriously. Kenya is uniquely positioned to amplify the collective voice of nations that benefit from the invaluable support of the WFP. We intend to leverage this role to support WFP's leadership in advocacy at global forums, ensuring that food security remains a top priority on the international agenda. Moreover, given our experience and understanding of the challenges many countries face, we will be active and collaboratively and constructively contribute to international policy formulation and strategic direction that will lead to upholding and advancing of WFP's mission and objectives.